YouTube, new family, what is going on? Daniel back, another video for the channel. Had to come on here, it's been a few days, and the necessity for me to speak is real. I'll say she get right to it. The past few days I've been having crazy, unrealistic, unimportant stories about money, about how I was overspending money for the longest time. Essentially, up until recently, until the Holy Spirit came and just told me, hey Daniel, we're gonna cut the habit of overspending, meaning I've always, basically most of my life, always in debt, always overspending, always spending money I didn't have. For a brief time when I was making money with something else in the past, that was the devil. I was making money basically from a referral from OnlyFans, which is something I used to do before. And basically that was a year or something ago, but I knew somebody in the industry and I referred him somebody and I was getting pretty good money from that. But aside from that time, essentially I've been overspending. I've been in a place where, I never managed money. I was never really in a positive. I thought I was saving money, but it was always owed. So I never even had money to my name. And I can't believe I'm saying this in public, but I need to speak to give my story to, set myself free of those stories. So the past 2 days, like I said, crazy stories, about no more spending and, we have to get a new job and we have to, chase money now. We have to put money in the account. Money has to come into the account today, tomorrow. It has to be fixed, and it wants the feeling. The devil wants a feeling with money. It wants a feeling with something that it can grab, something that, it can give you a feeling towards. It wants control. The devil wants you to chase control. But the more you chase control, the more you actually don't have it. The more you stress yourself out, the more you live on a line, the more you get off the highway, which is the spiritual path to God. And essentially, the past 2 days have been in my head. And, even just now, I was most of the day in salsa. So I went to a few classes. I parked somewhere and essentially I forgot to pay. I got a ticket yesterday as well. Last night I got another ticket. So I paid $140 basically in tickets. And, the ticket today was like, oh, the ticket, I can't spend the money can't go, I can't leave my account. But, like I said, the more you fight and try to have control, the less control you have. It's really about letting go. That's why I'm making this video. That's why I want to give everything to the camera, to the world, so I don't have to carry it around anymore. Because the only way to remove your stories, remove that thinking, because it's all spiritual, is to give it to the world. You can go back to videos I've had. I was speaking about ex-girlfriends, about things I've done. Even now, I can give you my story, a brief story of, the time that I was given a gift, from family. I believe it was my mom or my dad gave me money when I was very lost in drugs and women, about $10,000. And now I have a story in my head of, oh, I lost that money. I believe I spent it in like 4 or 5 days, something like that. Very crazy. I spent it on like plane tickets for me and, the girl I was dating at the time. And then drugs, events, restaurants, whatever it is. So like basically within 10 days, I spent the money. Crazy. But now that happened 3-4 years ago, but now in my head, I'm like, why did I do that? That 10,000 could have been in my account and this and that, and it's fake. It's gone. Letting it go, accepting it. It's perfect. It had to happen. I had to spend all the money I spent. I had to overspend all the money I did in the past up until, I had the Holy Spirit give me the revelation of how much I was overspending and how much I have to really cut and live off, what God gives me and what I earn with the job I have. But it's perfect. I can't go back. I can't go back 3 years ago and, put myself in there and, not spend that money and, be in fear. Because like I said, the devil wants to give you a illusion of control, to give you fear. He wants to trap you in fear. Right now, I've been in fear for the past 2 days of something that's not real. Money. What is money? Money is numbers on a screen. Money is, of course, holds value, but it's not as real as your soul. Your soul is what's real. Your spirit is what's real. You being alive, watching this video, you getting another day is what's real. Money is a bonus. It's of course you need it to live and, buy things like food and shelter and clothing and, whatever it is. But beyond that, it's just a tool. It's nothing. It's not value. It's not a trophy. But like I said, the devil will use anything. He will use money. He will use women. He will use shoes. He will use social media. He will use views. He will use whatever it is to get you in control. And for me, like I said, it's been money. But of course, it's important, like I said, But like at the end of the day, what matters more is you being aligned, your soul. That's why I'm speaking. That's why I give all my stories, because I was on a call today with my brother and I realized we can have a call about this, and try to get me high frequency, but I have to give it to the world. I have to speak, and the devil's not want me speaking. That's why he gives me these stories and I get in my head. And like, today, especially most days, in the past I would have Instagram and be making stories, actual Instagram stories and speaking. But I realized something that's not something I'm not doing anymore. And that is my power. My gift is speaking. My gift is being able to get in flow state and just speak, articulate, and just flow and, help people understand this lifestyle, the way I've grown, how you can grow, how you can let go of everything. Let go of everything. Let go of all the stories in your head that you believe are real that are tying you to fear, to control, to the devil. They're all fake. As real as they seem, and like I said, the devil's trying to control me with money and decisions I made, and how it's everything. It's trying to just throw everything at me, and it could seem real, and of course I can make a case for it. But what is most real is peace, it's alignment, is being in spirit. So I need to make this video to keep speaking, let it go, and get some water. But give it to the world and no longer hold it onto it, because if you don't speak and give your story to the world, you hold on to it. You try to fight it with thinking, with rationalizations, with more stories, and it's fake. So I wanted to give this story to help, those that are maybe in that story right now that overspend. And, it's not with bad intention, it's just a bad habit, like you shouldn't be spending or living off money that's borrowed or not yours, like if credit card money essentially. It should be something that you pay off and, don't depend on it. Of course, it has, whatever it is. You can get to a whole different video about it. Doesn't matter. The point is, you understand that whatever story is fake and you have to give it to the world and speak. And, right now, the past few days, I've been out of my power because of that. And now that I've given it to the world, I have no reason to hold on to it. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm giving it to you guys, so I can basically get it out of myself, get that demon out of me, and also help those people that have that story. Because a lot of people, have that issue with overspending, and no one knows they're overspending, but they live one way, but they're actually earning another way. And the money that Jesus gives you is perfect. It's perfect for your purpose. You don't have to overspend. There's necessities, of course, that have to be paid, but you don't have to overspend on going to trips, concerts, clothing you don't need, so many different things, overspending on this and that. Like I said, Jesus knows what you need. God knows what you need. He knows what I need. That's why he's given me, the income, whatever I've earned until now. And, when I attract more, it's perfect. When I attract more students with the coaching, it's perfect. But even now, I'm getting these stories of what if I'm never going to, be able to be above and a positive, what if my expenses are too high always, and it doesn't matter. It's fake. I can think about it and try to control and, now micromanage and make an Excel sheet, and I'm going to, track my expenses and, $10 went here and $10, but then you're in fear, like you're never actually living. So what's the point of, being in this control that you believe you have? What's real is your soul being free, you being free. That is what's real. Anything that you try to control this world, as much as you may think you have control of it or could grab it, or it feels a certain way when you control it, it's a feeling. You're trying to get control of something for a feeling, but it's fake. What you need is to be in peace, to be aligned, to be able to close your eyes and be at peace, not have stories, just, be there, enjoying that you're alive, enjoying that you're a soul, that you're a spirit, and just being able to close your eyes and be in peace. Not have to overthink, not have to control, not have to, grab everything of this world. Of course, the world is important, but the devil wants you to live in the world. That's why he makes you grab onto this with control and that with control, and you need to have this and that. So I want to be the person that gives all my stories. Like I said, I've given all my stories before. I want to keep giving more, whatever stories. This is the one about money. Maybe another story I have about whatever it is, business or whatever it is. It's fake. Whenever you have stories, you are with the devil. You are not with God. So the past few days, I've been in fear. I'm going to be honest and open. I've been in fear and control, and I'm not with Jesus. I'm with the devil. So it's about letting go, giving my fear to the world, giving my fear to God, performing basically a public exorcism, because now that fear, these stories that I've had in my head are now in this video, and I just see it as you writing on a note, burning it, and throwing it. You can't go back. What am I going to go back to now? The stories, like they're in public, you know, the stories only have power when you don't speak and you give them to the world. Like when you're in your head about your stories, you believe they're real and you hold on to them. When you don't speak and give them to the world, you realize how little power it actually has. If you spoke all your stories, like I have, to the world, you realize how much it doesn't matter. You know, you can speak about anything. It does not matter the situation. It could be super personal. It could be something that's happened tragically. It could be an old relationship. Like I said, I've made stories about ex-girlfriends and like basically me crying about them on here, about what I used to do, sex clubs I used to go to, how I used to treat women, how I was lost with women, so many different things. But the point is, you need to speak. I need to speak to be able to be in my power, because I firmly believe now that those that don't speak get in their head and their stories the fastest, because it's like the devil wants to block your gift, from you doing your gift as fast as possible. So, if he doesn't want you to speak, he's going to give you stories and, oh, you can't speak today because you're not in power. You can't speak today because of this. But I need to speak to get in frequency. I need to speak to get out of that low frequency of like, oh, money and control. And, oh, I shouldn't spend the money here. And, what about this? And what about 3 years ago? And story is fake. It's fake. I'm alive. You're alive watching this. We are alive. That's, we get another day. That's the most important thing. The second thing is living in faith, giving everything to Jesus, to God. You're not meant to control everything. The devil wants you to be in this element of control, but you're not free when you're trying to control, because you want a feeling from the world. That's what control is. It's feelings from the world because you're in fear. But we need to live aligned. We need to put our faith, give it to Jesus. And as much as the ego wants to grab onto everything, you're never going to be at peace that way. So that is what I want for you. That's why I do the coaching. That's why I give myself to the world. That's why I give all my stories. I give myself authentically, because that is frequency. If I hid here and just pretended to be somebody else and just made little scripts and, I'm going to speak about this today, but I'm actually this way, I'm not giving myself to the world. So I have to give myself authentically the way I am, and people feel that, An authentic video with no script is worth more than a scripted video that's unauthentic, that's doing something for result or views. So that is the truth, because authenticity is frequency, and frequency is everything. Frequency is everything. It's above feelings. It's above, stories, control. Frequency is above everything. So that is what we do in this channel. We help you stay aligned, to make the choices that get you a high frequency, to stay close to your purpose, to remove the vices, to remove the things the devil wants you to do. Like I said, you get close to me because even I grow. As you see in this video, I let go of even small things that seem insignificant. Those are my stories. I give them to you. You can have your stories and you give them to the world, and you help somebody else. That's how it goes. And, from there you try to discover your purpose. Maybe your purpose is drawing. Maybe your purpose is, cooking. It doesn't matter. But the only way to get to your purpose is removing all the stories, getting in peace, getting aligned, and the Holy Spirit will guide you with everything else. So, I have faith now that the Holy Spirit will guide me with this money situation. It's just essentially managing money better. That's all it is. But, like I said, the devil wants control tomorrow. Like tomorrow everything has to be perfect and controlled, because, that's what the devil wants. He wants a feeling from control. But it's not going to happen that way. It's not possible. So I let it go. I'm grateful I'm alive. I'm grateful I'll be able to have a meal after this and, go enjoy more salsa and dance with people, that I've met, friends that I'm connecting with. And I'm alive. 30 years old. I'm alive. I'm healthy. I have people around me. I have enough money to support myself and, this life, and also coach others, the ability to speak online and, have the internet and speak and give my wisdom and, reach people that feel this with their spirit. And those people will connect with me and follow me and will grow. And those that just want to live in ego and control and believe that's life, then they don't grow. That's as simple as that. I was in ego for many years and I thought that was life, and I thought feelings was life, and control and fear and, control and feelings, and it's not life. You're never free. So yeah, crazy video. Need to do this. I'm gonna go have my meal now. Pretty hungry. And I'm just grateful. Thank you for everyone that watches the videos, that, leaves likes. If you leave comments, perfect as well. Leave a comment in terms of what you got from the video. But yeah, your story, as real as it seems, is insignificant. It does not matter what the story is. It could be trauma. It could be whatever personal thing. Just let it go. Really let your stories go until you get close to Yeshua, your creator. So you get close to the Holy Spirit. That's how it gets, blessed onto you, and how you do things beyond your imagination. Because this path, me being here, growing as much as I have, letting go of the things I have, and still being able to grow more and not miss, and habits, and speaking and attracting things and frequency, and it's all the Holy Spirit. It's all Jesus. It's God's plan. So God's plan is for you to grow, find your purpose, and I help you get there. You have my coaching, you have my WhatsApp, you have my free Telegram community, which is finally up, called The New Family, which I, call you guys because you guys are the new family, the new 0.01% family, those that don't miss, those that live aligned, those that live for their creator, and those that find their purpose in the authentic way, not, the worldly way for money, for results, or, how to look online, for status, for Instagram. I even deleted Instagram because of that. So it's like, it's crazy. So we remove the things that we don't need. We keep growing. And thank you guys. You guys have my coaching. You guys can contact me through WhatsApp. You have my Telegram community. You can connect with me there. I'll show you guys each day how I grow, how I let go of everything. And yeah, each day I keep learning more and more and keep growing more and more. But really, it's about releasing, giving all your fear to Jesus. And he, is able to bless you with the Holy Spirit. That's how it goes. So God bless, guys. We'll leave it there. Much love. Enjoy your morning, afternoon, or night whenever you watch this. Realize you're alive. That's all that matters. Everything else is a bonus. And afterwards, realize faith is what's going to get you everything. Letting go in faith, not controlling in fear or needing a feeling in fear. It's fake. So God bless. Love you guys. Much love. Until next time, I have faith in your soul, your spirit. You are a gift from God, put on this earth for a purpose, and I believe in you. So God bless. Much love. And as always, until next time, keep killing it.